So it's time for quite possibly the last time to have the Imola Grand Prix, and it's lights out and it's away we go. It's all right, Max isn't going to do that. And no, it's fine, Max isn't going to do that. I don't think Max is going to... Oh my goodness, he's done it. My trousers have just been wowzered. No, not like that. Ooh. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Yes, we've just had the Imola Grand Prix and it wasn't really a classic, but it was a very strategical race. I'd give the race itself about 5 out of 10, but for strategy and stuff going on, I'd give it a solid 7. So there we go. And of course, we have to start with the qualifying session, which... I was a little bit uneasy about because we had both Colapinto and we had Yuki Tsunoda doing an even bigger crash during qualifying. Some very bad memories started to come to the front there, and someone did mention in my comments about the fact that thank God for the halo, and yes indeed, thank God for the halo. Thankfully both Yuki and Franco Colapinto were absolutely fine. As I've said before, I do like a nice crash, but I don't like anyone getting hurt, and that just looked very nasty to me. But anyway, as I say, thankfully they were both okay. In fact, they were so okay they then went on to do the race on Sunday, so absolutely fine. And yes, what happened then from the start of that Grand Prix? I'll tell you what, Super Max, he cooked the pastry. Yes, the pastry got burnt, unfortunately, and that was it. That was absolutely sensational, I've got to say. Absolutely sensational for Max Verstappen. Say what you will about Max, I do myself. That was a World Championship first turn into turn one. That was just it from the start. That was just great from Max Verstappen. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think Max was expecting it, to be sure, and certainly Pastry wasn't expecting it, but he pulled it off, went into the lead and basically never looked back. That car was absolutely on fire. Absolutely on fire. So that was the start of the Grand Prix. Super Max, well, he bested Oscar's Pastry, and a few people have said, you know, this is now not good. I mean, let's calm down. Let's calm down. It's only one race. There's loads of opportunities and loads of races left yet as well for the championship, so we don't have to sort of start panicking yet, but it is an early warning sign. As I've said previously, you give Max a tiny little bit of space and he will take it. He of course comes from the Ayrton Senna driving school, and he will take that gap if it's there. Even if it's not there, he will still take it. And so, you know, you've got to applaud Max for that. He did a killer move there and it worked, and he got in front, and as I say, never really looked back from there. Anyway, we advanced to lap 2. Ocon had to pit for the hard tyre. I don't know why he had to pit for the hard tyre, but he did on lap 2. Maybe some kind of problem during the start, I don't know. Anyway, on to lap 3, and Gasly goes off fighting with Charles Leclerc. Now, Charles got a little bit of a problem with that later on, and I don't really see what the problem was there. It was a move, didn't quite pull off, and Gasly ended up in the mud. Yes, which is basically Alpine right now. Unfortunately, but yeah, so I don't see what the problem was with that. Anyway, we accelerated forward to lap 10, and the race results on lap 10 was in first position. It was still Maxi Boy Verstappen, still pulling in a killer performance. Second place was Oscar's Pastry. Third position was George of Russell, and I've got to say congratulations to George there. Absolutely congratulations and jubilate to George of the Russell for being in third place. Absolutely killer performance. And when you consider that he was moaning pretty much from the start that there was something wrong with his car, it wasn't working properly. We've seen this before from George. Unless that car is absolutely perfect, for some unknown reason, George seems to feel that it's falling apart. Yes, it's like, no, the wheels are coming off. The wheels are coming off. I'm sure they are. He was going on about, it feels like the track rod end's coming off. I was like... even David Coulthard said, well, no, that's not possible, otherwise he wouldn't still be going around the circuit. So very, very strange from Jules that he has that sort of feeling. Obviously it was just not right with the car. He just felt something wasn't right with the car, which could have been tyre related. It could have been the fact that, you know, Pirelli bought some decent tyres to this Grand Prix, which they haven't done for ages. We've had the mediums and the hards, and it's been a one-stop procession for quite a while. Very glad they bought the softs because it did a very good job. Anyway, Lando Norris was in 4th place, and in 5th position on lap 10, it was Fernando Alonso. And in 6th place, it was Carlos Sainz. Yes, can you believe it? Carlos Sainz in that Williams doing a spectacular job on lap 10. Then we went to lap 12, and then Russell pits after he just got passed by Lando Norris. And quite a good move there from Lando, I have to say. Then he comes and pits in. And on lap 14, Oscar's Pastry pits. And it was a slow stop, unfortunately. A 3.6 second stop, which was not good for Oscar's Pastry. Then we go to lap 17, and Yuki is told to hold up Oscar's Pastry. And this was a classic bit of team radio here. An absolute classic bit of team radio. As David Coulthard said in the commentary after the team radio was broadcast, he said, well, I was expecting them to make up this sort of code like they usually do, you know, a bit like the Multi-21, Seb. But no, the engineer just came straight out with it. He said, he's behind you, make sure you block him.
Car behind is Piastri at 1.5 seconds. He is Max's race, so do your best to hold him up.
And it was just absolutely classic. You know what? I'm getting the feeling that the drivers, the engineers are thoroughly pissed off with the FIA, and they're just starting to go their own route now. And I applaud that intently. I think it's a good idea. They should just forget about the FIA and just try and get on with the job, because yeah, they just look like they're completely fed up with the decisions that they make, the corruption. I've got to say that allegedly because it, you know, it's nothing to do with the FIA, but you know, you've got to say, haven't you? Alpine is in the championship and approved by the FIA, so you know, if you were apportioning some kind of blame, you'd have to put a little bit on the door of the, I'm going to definitely say allegedly here, but I'm going to get sued by every lawyer in the FIA. But, you know, you have to say allegedly that some blame has to go their way. Surely. Anyway, on to lap 21, and the positions were Verstappen was in 1st position, Lando Norris was in 2nd. Albon had pulled up to 3rd place in that Williams. A fantastic performance from Alexander Albon, has to be said. 4th was Isaac Hazur. Yes, Isaac Hazur was in 4th place. 5th was Kimi Antonelli, and in 6th position it was Lulu Hamilton. Then on to lap 29, and Norris pits for the hard tyre. And still on lap 29, we had the yellow flag come out because Ocon was out, and then the virtual safety car came out, which screwed a few people's races, including Charles Leclerc, I do believe. And also on lap 29, Max pitted under the virtual safety car as well. On to lap 30, all the early pitters. Now, of course, there was a lot of cars making very early pit stops because basically the tyres weren't lasting as long as they thought they were going to, so they had to make very early stops. So all the early pitters came in again on lap 30, still under the virtual safety car, and while I was on lap 31 was Oscar's Pastry as well. So the positions on lap 31 were Verstappen in 1st place, Norris in 2nd, 3rd was Albon, 4th was Piastri, 5th was Hazur, and 6th was Antonelli. Then on lap 36, and this must have been a great couple of minutes for Lewis Hamilton, because he passed Kimi Antonelli. Don't forget, Kimi Antonelli, I'll get it right, is driving Lewis Hamilton's car that he was driving last year, and Hamilton did pass him. You know, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm pretty sure, even if it was in his head as he passed him, Lewis probably went, yes, as anybody would. But yeah, so congratulations to Lewis Hamilton. Then on to lap 43, the positions were still in 1st place pretty much for the whole of the race really, was Verstappen, 2nd was Norris, 3rd was Piastri, 4th was Albon, 5th was Hamilton, and 6th was Charles Leclerc. And then unfortunately on lap 46, it was very disappointing because, you know, this kid is only 18 years old. I didn't even know he was still at school. I had no idea he was still at school. But apparently he is, because he brought all his classmates to the race, which, you know, Lots of people were saying, "Ah, that's so sweet." Ah, shut up. But yes, unfortunately, oh, shut up, I'm old. Unfortunately, Kimi Antonelli was out on lap 46, and the yellow flag came out. And in fact, it went pretty quickly from a yellow flag to a full safety car. Yes, a full safety car on lap 46. And of course, we had cars pitting again. Max came in, Lando Norris came in, Hamilton came in, and Isaac Hadjar came in as well. And on lap 53, so the safety car was out for quite a few laps. On lap 53, the green flag was out, and it was time to say, go, go, go once again. And on lap 59, Lando overtakes Piastri. It was a sensible decision. Piastri was still on worn tyres. Lando was on fresh, hard tyres. So, yeah, it was just natural. Unfortunately, Oscar's lost more points. But what can you do? What can you do? Sit there and just hold up Lando or just let him go? It was the correct decision, I think. And Albon gets pushed off as well, and he wasn't very happy about that towards the end of the race, was he? But there you go. Anyway, so that was it. The race was over. Now, Charles Leclerc actually gave Albon the place back because it looked like that there was going to be an inquiry from the stewards. So they made the right decision and said, yeah, give him the place back. So that's how it all panned out. So the race was over, and that was it. First was Maxi Boy Verstappen. Second was Lando Norris. Third was Piastri. Fourth was Lulu Hamilton. Fifth was Alexander Albon. And sixth was Charles Leclerc. Now, I'm just going to show you very, very quickly that first sort of corner where Max overtook for the lead. I'm going to show it in a very small screen, and hopefully the FIA won't ritually sacrifice me. They probably will, but hopefully they won't. And we'll just be able to see it just very, very quickly. So here it is right now.
Also George Russell as well, who's alongside Max Verstappen. It's going to be close. Momentarily, he's up to second place, but Russell backs out of it. And Verstappen roars around the outside to take the lead in spectacular.
So that was the Grand Prix. As I say, I give the actual race about a 5. It wasn't really very exciting, was it? But with the strategy that came into play, and of course we had the virtual safety car and the safety car came out, I'd give that sort of a 7. But anyway, it's all over. And let's go to our favourite part of the show that everybody loves. It's the drivers' point standings before the next race, which of course is in Monaco. God, that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. So, in first position now, we still have Oscar's Pastry. Don't panic, everyone. He's still there with 146 points. And in fact, in second place, it is Lando Norris with 133 points. And Max, with that win, of course, has now pulled up the points a little bit. He's now on 124. So in fourth position, it's George at the Russell now with 99. And in fifth place, it's Charles Leclerc with 61. Just behind him is his teammate, of course, Lulu Hamilton with 53 points. In seventh place, it's Kimi Antonelli. Unfortunately, no points scored at Imola with 48 points. In eighth position, Alexander Albon. Great result for him. 40 points now in the championship. SD Bestie is in 9th place with 14 points. Lance Stroll also in 10th position with 14 points. 11th place for Carlos Sainz with 11 points. And 12th position now is Yuki Tsunoda with 10 World Championship points. Now, is that enough for Yuki to hold on to the seat? We'll have to find out. But he's still doing better than... Yeah. But anyway... Pierre Gasly is in 13th place with 7 points, and so is Isaac Hadjar, who's got 7 points in the Racing Bull. So Nico Hulkenberg is in 15th position in the Kick Sauber, is still with those 6 points that he's had for quite a long time now. Oliver Behrman with his 6 points as well in 16th place in the Haas Ferrari. 17th place goes to Fernando Alonso, who I heard on the team radio was saying he was the unluckiest driver in Formula 1 right now because of the way the virtual safety cars and safety cars came out. Completely screwed his race. 18th place is currently Liam Lawson in the Racing Bulls Honda. And in 19th place, of course, Jack Doohan, no longer in Formula 1. Well, he's the reserve driver, but he's not actually driving. And in 20th, it's Gabriel Bortoleto, still no points on the board. And in 21st place, no points on the board either, it's Franco Colapinto. So there you go, that was the Imola Grand Prix. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the Grand Prix. Let me know if you thought that I got things wrong, which is what you usually do. So yes. Anyway, you have been awesome as always. And as always, I'll catch you in the next video.